It's coming up. It's right around the corner.
January 3rd, Arizona State versus Michigan here in Austin at the JW.
It's going to be bonkers.
Arizona State versus Michigan is a top 5 duel in my opinion.
Got some big matchups, me a premier duel.
Super excited about kicking off the dual meet season on a Monday night with Arizona State.
You got two studs going at it. You know, you got Goliath versus Goliath. Who doesn't want to see that?
Oh my God, we fight. 2 top dual meet teams in the nation. It's gonna be a show for sure.
So last year, Arizona State just edged us out for a team trophy. They finished 4th, we finished 5th. So our guys are definitely aware that they finished 1 slot above us last year.
I think there could be starting to be a rivalry between us and ASU.
I'm excited to put the beat down on them, honestly.
The biggest similarity between these two programs is the fact that they win.
Both teams are very successful. The way they do it is different, right? It's like a sports car versus a truck. Arizona State has a little bit flashier style. Their guys will wow you, whereas Michigan, they're gonna hand fight you to death. They're gonna wear you down. They're gonna try to out-condition you and beat you.
It's Big Ten versus Pac-12. That in and of itself kind of screams differences, but they see themselves as the absolute top echelon of NCAA wrestling.
The guys in the room are all competitive with each other. We all want to win.
I mean, we have a lot of kids, a lot of people that like to fight in the room, and we're like well-rounded.
This group is hungry. They want a gold trophy. They don't just want a trophy, right?
Zeke has cultivated a culture that is pretty unique to college wrestling.
I don't think anyone's doing it how we do it down here.
Most college wrestling is very put your head down and go to work. That's very much the University of Michigan. For whatever reason, these guys are having a great time. They're in the sun, they got shorts, they got flip-flops. It's almost like these guys are on wrestling vacation.
Roll out your backs. Roll out your backs.
Arizona State head coach Zeke Jones has some personality himself. He's more outgoing, and you see that kind of rub off on his team.
Coach Zeke, Uncle Zeke.
He's not like other coaches where he's gonna yell in your face. He'll push you in a different way.
Zeke's a pretty forward guy. Sean Bourmet, on the other hand, he's gonna be a little bit more reserved.
So gotta have a good warm-up, real focus, great effort to do everything right.
That rubs off on his athletes as well. If you look at these Michigan guys, they're as lunch pail as it comes. They're just gonna put their head down and go to work.
We're gritty. We're the hardest working team in America.
I think it's like the opposite of flashier. You know, you're supposed to kind of go out there and get the job done and, you know, not say much about it.
Our team, in contrasting with their team, I think that our team is just solid and work, you know, and they have a lot of raw talent on their team.
When I think about Arizona State as far as a wrestling team goes, they're becoming a really complete team.
If you look up and down the lineup, right, I mean, there's some kids that can wrestle. We got some kids that can wrestle.
Top of their order, right? You got a guy, Courtney, who surprised a lot of people and made an NCAA final appearance last year. He lost to Spencer Lee, who might wind up going down as one of the best ever.
I went out there, I wrestled every match, honestly cautious. I feel like I could have dominated my way through there. And that's what I'm looking forward to this year, is just letting loose.
And then you got new guys in the lineup like Jesse Vasquez at 141 pounds. He has a big junk drawer. Like, he can kind of throw as much stuff at you as he needs to score.
Jesse Vasquez is a freaking killer. He'll go out there, he don't care who you are, he'll scrap with you.
You want to talk about junk? Let's talk about Ja'Cory Teamer, 157 pounds.
He's dangerous. You get to his leg, he's still looking to score from every position. He's nasty.
You ever wrestle him? Well, if you ever did, you'd be like, this guy's a sicko.
He will give you the leg and you think like, all right, let's go score. No, you just got baited, buddy.
And this was just pretty easy for me. I don't know why.
And then there's Colton Schultz, 285 pounds.
How thick is his neck, bro?
Bro, I think his neck is bigger than his head.
I mean, it's pretty wide.
The guy, to me, is kind of their rock. He's a junior world champion and Greco, and he uses that Greco to push people all around the mat.
You know, I'd love to throw everybody if I could, but everybody knows that, everybody tries to avoid that, so it's kind of become more of controlling the pace of the match, controlling the center of the mat.
Anthony Valencia, he's the complete opposite. He's throwing the kitchen sink at you.
I like to do moves that no one else has done before.
You got to be ready for those.
Cordell Norfleet, it kind of epitomizes what the Arizona State personality is. It's kind of flashy. He'll wrestle from the outside, he'll fake, he'll dart in and out and get you off balance, and then
Cordell is a world-class athlete. Strength, speed, power, he's got it all.
I am the best athlete at 197. You know, when it comes to speed, when it comes to changing speeds, angles, no other athlete can move like I can.
So that whole team, they really do have an eclectic kind of styles of wrestling.
This team's, you know, it's got a strong tradition, strong history, but I don't think there's ever been a team as good as the team we have this year.
The University of Michigan, they have 2 Olympians on their team. I don't know if you know that, right?
Having me and Miles back in the lineup, I think our team's going to be a really scary thing.
Stefan Micic, he wrestles for Serbia, and the guy's slick. Oh boy, is he slick.
I mean, he's just so technical, and he's a master of his craft.
And then you have Miles Amin. He bronzed at the Olympics. That's incredible.
Competing against the best wrestlers in the world, it kind of changed my perspective on wrestling and definitely made me a better wrestler.
Having a guy like that in the room is absolutely priceless.
Then they have junior world champions on their team, like Mason Paris at 285 pounds.
Mason Paris is a brute, man.
And he steps on the mat, he's going to try to rip your head off.
Mason Paris wrestles a high-octane offensive style.
He is going out there for one objective, and that's to put you on your back and pin you.
man, Pat Bruckey talks about having these mental battles against himself, trying to push himself to exhaustion in the room.
The way I train is harder, not smarter. I actually have that tattooed on my body. Why would I work smart when I can work hard? You know, I mean, working smarter is taking the easy route.
He's just blue collar through and through in terms of his approach. Strong as an ox.
Pat Bruckey, he's going to come forward, a lot of forward pressure. He's going to wear you down.
They are loaded with accolades. You got cadet world champ and Will Lewan.
Guys will shoot, and they'll get themselves dog tired and not even be close to scoring on Will Lewan.
I've always been a bit more defensive, but lately I've been working on my own attacks, so I think you're going to see a new style from me this year.
Without a doubt, the main event of the evening is at heavyweight, and that's going to cap things off. You got Mason Paris, NCAA runner-up, versus Colton Schultz, an NCAA All-American, and these guys could not be more polar opposites. This is like the unstoppable force versus the immovable object.
I like to shoot on the legs a lot and, you know, keep the pace up the entire time. And, you know, Colton, you know, he's a Greco wrestler, so he's not afraid to, you know, throw someone.
I think Colton could possibly throw him, but I think Mason Paris's fear of getting thrown will open Colton up more for other shots.
You know, if I can force a guy into a bad shot, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to score some points off of their shot. So against a guy who's known for shooting, I think that'll work pretty well.
At 197 pounds, Pat Bruckey, Cordell Norfleet, you're seeing the persona of the duel play out in this matchup. Bruckey, very lunge fail. This guy just goes to work, and he wants to run through a brick wall. Now, Cordell Norfleet, little flashier, a little bit more tempo.
Cordell is one of the most athletically gifted humans I've seen wrestle, honestly. But that being said, I think Pat's just overall more solid of a wrestler.
You know, he's a walking muscle factory. It's almost like being a matador. You know, how can I get these muscles tired, turn them into weights? I do not believe Bruckey can run with me for 7 minutes.
I just want to be an opportunist and take what he's given me. I think it'd be exciting to get on the mat with him and share 7 minutes.
157 is probably the matchup that I'm most excited for. It's Ja'Cory Teamer versus Will Lewan.
It's defense against defense. It's going to be fireworks.
You got fastball versus curveball. You got one guy that's going to just throw straight heat, and the other guy's going to go over or under and around you.
Ja'Cory beat him last year at the NCAA tournament, and, you know, I think Will is looking to make revenge.
I would definitely say I have something to prove. I think it will be a different outcome.
You got, you know, solidity versus explosion, and I think that's what wrestling's about.
Things just got a lot more interesting at 125 pounds for the Michigan Wolverines. Nick Suriano will be competing for the Michigan Wolverines second half of this season. And he is one of the most mysterious people in NCAA wrestling and probably in American wrestling across the board. You know, undefeated in his high school career at New Jersey, went to Penn State, was ranked #2 in the country, tweaked his ankle, couldn't wrestle the rest of the season, transfers to Rutgers, becomes the first NCAA champion in the history of Rutgers wrestling. And then what does he do? He disappears.
We don't hear from him for years, literally years, okay? And then he shows up, like, I don't know how else to say it, but out of the blue in Michigan.
And his first duel with the Wolverines will be against NCAA runner-up Brandon Courtney.
The impact that Nick Suriano has on this duel is huge.
Nick Suriano is a juggernaut. He is like nearly impossible to take down, keeps great position, and when he sees the opportunity to attack, he does.
Now, Brandon Courtney is, he's really good. He's an NCAA finalist last year. But it's funny that right now, I don't know that many people are giving him a chance because it's Nick Suriano.
Everyone sleeps on me. I feel like it was like that my whole life.
I think Brandon Courtney is one of the most confident guys in the room. Doesn't matter how good the guy is, he feels that he's the better guy.
In order for Brandon Courtney to beat Nick Suriano, he's got to wrestle flawlessly.
It's a fortified, full-on castle to try and get past all those defenses, man.
He's gonna have to be very, very well calculated in order to beat Nick Suriano. But it's not impossible. Courtney, an NCAA finalist, has proven he's one of the best in the country.
I'm not gonna give two craps about what anyone has to say if I win or lose. I'm just gonna go out there and compete.
I have no doubt Suriano's gonna show up in shape, ready to scrap on January 3rd.
I don't think we know for sure if Nick's wrestling ever. But, you know, all that said, I do fully expect Nick Suriano to take the mat at the JW in Austin on January 3rd because he has a flair for the dramatic. And it's kind of cool that he's going to have his first match in Blue and Maize be on FloWrestling.
Please, talk to yourself the right way.
This is a groundbreaking type of duel that we're putting on here in Austin. There are going to be 100 people in the stands, and that's it. But they're going to be on top of the mat, and they are going to be fever pitch.
So it's going to be loud. And one thing I think is interesting is momentum could really start to play a role in this duel.
There's a really good chance that one team gets on a roll, and it kind of carries into heavyweight. These two guys have wrestled each other, but not since they were kids. We don't really know what a grown Mason Paris and a grown Colton Schultz looks like in the middle of a circle. So the momentum going into that match could very well decide it.
I'll tell you, on January 3rd, you're going to watch a great match between Arizona State and Michigan. That's the bottom line. You're going to see a couple of top 5 programs battling, both in the hunt for a national championship.
Every match is going to make a big difference. And those are all the same guys you're probably going to run into when it comes time for the national tournament.
I think this duel is going to kind of set the tone for the NCAA tournament.
They're a good team, so it's going to be a challenging one. But as long as we believe, we could win every single duel.
It's going to be a battle, but I think we're going to be better prepared.
We're down for a good scrap. You know, that's it. You guys wrestle, we wrestle. You guys scrap, we scrap. Let's scrap.
The Wolverines are going to be working hard and they'll be ready to wrestle. January 3rd, Austin, Texas.
It's certainly not very often that we get to see a match of this magnitude with so much on the line contested in such an intimate setting. Why would you not be excited for this match?
It's all going down January 3rd, Arizona State versus Michigan, live on FloWrestling. Don't miss out.